Okay, I hope it's streaming now. There it goes. Okay, it's streaming now. So we just said a whole bunch of stuff and nobody heard any of it. Anyway, the long and the short of it is we're back. This is the My
Yes,
Hero Academia podcast. We are going to be doing a recap of episodes 102 through 107.
and I
And
think I've seen most of those.
I hope so, because we're going to go in depth in great details about these episodes. So.
If not, then I'll just make the podcast more fun.
Yeah, we'll be talking about random stuff, but man, okay, now it's working. I can't believe that happened. It was a good
Okay,
opening too, but oh well. What can you do?
exactly. Like I start talking about the wrong anime. I tell stories about getting stuck at gas stations with a test-driven car that won't start. Yeah, all those good things that my life has been about lately.
Wow, is that a real story?
Yeah, like I went to test drive a new car today. We had trouble getting it to start. They did not know it had two batteries because it's a plug-in hybrid. They eventually found that out. We went to go put gas in it, and they went to turn the car back on, and it wouldn't work. So someone had to come rescue us.
Wow, that really is something.
It's just been an interesting week for me.
Wow. Well, speaking of interesting, My Hero Academia is finally starting to get interesting now.
Yes, there's been a lot of interesting stuff these past few episodes, but also not in the way that, or it was not in a traditional sense for My Hero Academia.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was like episodes 102 through 107 have been focused more on the characters. Like,
Yeah,
we've been focusing on Endeavor, we've been focusing on the three boys, Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki.
right. Yeah, because normally how an arc goes is like they either have a villain or it's like they set up some sort of battles between the heroes, and then like we see them fight each other taken down. But there really wasn't much action this arc, or when the action was there, that wasn't the important part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it really goes to show that if the writing is actually, gets a chance to be good and kind of go over all those different like character development points within the show, that it can be very successful instead of having the first, what was it, 12 or 13
Yeah,
episodes, nothing but just fan service. It's really
yeah.
what it was.
It had like a few cool moments, but like no interesting story to tie it together.
To be honest, the only thing that was worth note was Deku's new power, and that was
Yeah,
it.
and Bakugo being cool.
Right, and Bakugo becoming well, he's still his, aggressive self, but he's definitely become a lot cooler than he has in the past
Yeah,
seasons, that's
he's
for
like
sure.
he's growing, but also not changing who he was.
Right, exactly. And I think that's why the ladies love Bakugo. Or is it Todoroki? I think the
I think
ladies
they
like
like
Todoroki.
no, I think they like to ship Todoroki and Bakugo.
Oh,
I
I
think.
could I could see that.
Okay, that my brain started to break. So move on.
Yes, exactly. So,
Oh yeah, we got the filler arc with, or the I don't know if it's filler, but we got that episode with like Uraraka and Froppy, and I don't think
yeah.
anything important happened there.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way really quick. That was episode 104. This
Oh,
was
that was 102.
this the 102 was when they the three boys or teens joined Endeavor's agency, and then he kind
Okay,
of is training them and then is giving them advice. And in that same episode, Hawks warns Endeavor through
yeah,
a book that he gave him. He told him, like, he was telling him without telling him, basically saying, read every other line or however it was, every other paragraph, and you'll see what I'm
yeah.
talking about. And
Oh, no, it's like he highlighted like parts and said like look at the key parts, and there's like the second letter of each highlight was the message.
right. And basically what it was is that he's he told Endeavor that he infiltrated the League of Villains, and he's telling Endeavor that the League of Villains will attack in 4 months' time.
Yeah, it's even more than the League of Villains too, which I think
Right.
I forget exactly like what the group is, but it's like those who like want to take down society the way it
It's
is now.
it's the Meta Liberation Army.
That's it. Yeah, I forgot many of the details,
It's
but
all it's
yeah,
okay. And he said that they are like a lot of people, like 100,000 strong, are
yeah,
which is crazy to think. So it's the League of Villains, it's the Meta Liberation Army, and they're about to attack in 4 months' time, and it's just like, whoa, what's gonna happen now? What are they gonna
right.
do? So it's just building up all this anticipation now, which has been missing from the beginning of this season. And now,
Hmm.
as soon as I watched that first episode, I'm like, okay, now I need to catch up. I need to
Oh
see
yeah,
what else is going on. Because let's be honest, the first half was, I don't know. I kind of we could have just really just watched that whole thing in a weekend and just talked about it on
yeah. I think that would
one
work better.
podcast.
It was not worth talking about weekly.
No, no, it wasn't.
But now we're at the part where it might be worth talking about weekly, where we skipped like a month.
Right, right. I'm definitely gonna be. I think we should definitely talk about it weekly now that we're finally caught up. But anyway, uh, they join the agency. Hawks gives a warning to Endeavor. Uh, Hawks is kind of he's doing like a what's it called? Like a he's being
Double
a
agent.
double agent more or less, and he's
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion that Hawks is going to die because
It's
they're gonna be on to him, and then they're gonna they're gonna take him out.
yeah, I could definitely see them killing him. I'm curious at like what Hawks's character arc will be because like so far we see him like very aloof. We don't like know much about the way he thinks.
Right, right, and I feel like when they introduced him at the tail end of last season, we were gonna kind of like know a little bit more about him, but
Yeah.
so far, you're right. He's just kind of like chilling in the background, just saying, "I'm being sneaky."
Well, I just rewatched like that battle at the end of season 4 while I was
Oh,
waiting for this. So just like
fantastic.
I remember like the way he was like looking up to Endeavor, saying that Endeavor was the only one like really trying to surpass All Might. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like a very interesting insight. And I think it will tie into what the Meta Liberation Army is doing. Like there's a similar thread going between those two.
Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting now. It only took half the season for it to get interesting, and now it's finally worth something now. And
Yeah. I kinda wanna, like, just rewatch the whole thing, just, like, see how, like, all the plot threads and the themes especially are coming together,
mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
we at this point, we have not really had that many, like, overarching plot stories. We have the League of Villains up to something, but that's, like, a vague thing,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, everything else has been, like, resolved in the next, like, 10 episodes or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So everything's just kind of like up in the air right now. Kind of what were you were talking about earlier that there was a filler episode that was 104. It was a
Yeah,
filler.
they
It was a filler episode disguised as a beach episode.
Yeah, and I actually did sorta like it because it finally gave Araka a chance to do cool things, and she doesn't get to do that often.
Yeah, she got to float an entire uh like airplane, which was pretty cool.
Exactly, she needs some more cool moments.
Yeah. After she did, she threw up like she always does whenever she uses her power too much.
I mean, if I was lifting an airplane, I'd probably be throwing up afterwards too.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a quick little filler episode. Uraraka and Froppy they reunited
Yeah.
with that seal dude
Yeah.
to stop these shipments of those quirk drugs called triggers, where they just kind of inject themselves with
Mhm.
a short, like it's a temporary quirk, and they use it.
Yeah. Or I thought it was like it boosts their quirks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I think that's how like it works for all the characters who take it. Like it enhances the quirks that they have.
For some reason, I thought it was that they didn't have. Well, maybe I could be wrong. Like they just didn't have a quirk, and they used it as a temporary. You might be right. I forget.
Yeah, because we saw like the same type of drug back in season 4.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the characters or a lot of the villains were using them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So,
So I'm gonna go with it enhances it. So ignore what I just said.
so I wonder if we'll get to the point where the heroes are forced to like decide if they're going to take that or risk losing a fight.
That's a very interesting question because I don't know. Like, if anyone, I could see, I could see Deku doing that, even though it would probably be something that would go against his principles. If it was
Yeah,
a life or death situation, he would probably use it.
I think that could be very interesting if Deku does. I was thinking like Bakugo, but I feel like Bakugo would be too prideful to do it.
Yeah, I don't see him doing it. I don't see Todoroki doing it. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I definitely
Todoroki, I
think
think, might.
Deku.
Yeah, especially like if I don't think even to like win a fight, but to save someone else, Deku would do it.
Right, that's the only way he would use it is if, I don't know, if it was one of his friends,
Yeah, or
especially if
like
it
if
was one of his friends.
or like Eri.
Mm, the little horn girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too. Because, she's, they saved her last season. She's gotten real comfortable with everybody. And now someone going to try to take her. Oh, yeah, time to use those triggers, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that too. Speaking, I guess I was just thinking about this. I guess all the characters now they're almost done with their second year. They're all
No, I think it's
16, or is
no, I
it?
think it's they're done with the first year because
Oh,
there's like 3 quarters or 3 school periods.
see, I everything just has been taking a long time just to get there. Like we're on season 5. For some reason, I just thought that they already entered their the
Ah,
semester.
yeah, it's like, well, yeah, because when they had like the first final exams, that was the end of the first quarter, or I don't know what they're called. And then they had the winter break when they were doing these work studies, and that was the end of the second one. And now they're starting the third.
Dang, they
The
certainly have.
Japanese school system has like 3 quarters or 3 periods.
They, they have certainly done a whole bunch in just their first year of high school.
Oh yeah, my high school life was not this exciting.
I know. My freshman year of high school, I wasn't doing half the shit that they're doing. It's like, what'd you do? I did a test.
I played video games basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I just played video games. My life was more like, the shut-in person that just played the video games. I was nowhere near the superhero Dekus
Yeah,
of the world. Oh man. So after that very forgetful filler episode, we
yeah,
then go to the next couple episodes, 105 and 106, where it's an interesting. It's probably one of my more favorite ones of this season, where it's about Endeavor's family.
yeah. His family's really interesting. Like in how they have all these conflicting feelings about Endeavor and everything he's done.
Right, right. Freaking Todoroki. He hasn't forgiven his father, but he wants to and he said this. He said, "I want to use you to get stronger."
Yeah,
So he won't grow feelings and grow fond from him, but he'll take his advice, is what he's
yeah. He's
saying.
like he respects Endeavor as a hero.
Right. But as a father, that's
Yeah,
to debate. We saw them, I think it was last season, or maybe even the season prior. Endeavor's children. We
yeah,
have I have the names here. Fuyumi, which is the daughter, she's basically just trying to save the family, kind of
mhm,
just like sticking her neck out and like trying to force everyone together, one of those type. We have Natsuo, who is,
right.
real bitter towards his father and basically just wants nothing to do with him, and he wants to leave first chance he gets. In this same episode, we also found out that they had another brother.
Yeah, who it seems who had passed away.
Yeah. Did they say how he died?
No, but it's implied that Endeavor was the cause of it somehow.
Right, and we don't know what that was. And
Yeah, whether it was like direct, indirect, or circumstantial, even.
right, but let me ask you a question. How many times, or if ever in your life, have you been in an awkward dinner situation?
I mean, not too often.
Well, that's good. Then you probably just have a normal life then. I
Do you have
I
stories to tell?
oh, there's a couple of weird stories. It's not my family, but just like friends of families. You go to their house and all of a sudden some weird shit happens. They be cussing and like in front of guests and everything. And it's I felt exactly like Deku and Bakugo where they're just kind of like, I need to get out of
Uh,
here. This is
well,
just
what did I
so
walk into?
right. And I think at one point even Bakugo was kind of like tired of it. He's like, you know what? Just say what is on your mind. Why are you prolonging everything? Just say it.
Yeah, you have the thing on the screen now with Deku and Bakugo's reactions.
those those are
Yes.
priceless. Those are great. But yeah, that mm, I've been in that situation. It is not fun. It is one of those. So, how about um could you please pass the gravy?
Uh,
And then someone gets up and leaves, and it's just even more awkward. Like the tension is so thick, you could cut it with a knife.
yeah, that sounds painful.
Yeah. But the episode that happened immediately after that awkward dinner was this villain by the name of Ending, who was basically
Yeah,
just obsessed with Endeavor.
right. Yeah, and he like wanted to be killed by Endeavor.
Yeah, right. That was his whole lot in life was he idolized him so much as a hero that he wanted him to kill him because I guess he's like a Batman type where he'll never kill a villain. He'll always capture him and put him in jail, but he wants to kind of break the hero spirit by making that choice to force his hand so that he dies
Yeah,
by the hero.
yeah, which is yeah, very interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, you get those kinds of heroes all the time in comic books.
Well, you also had an interesting thing like a couple episodes earlier is that Endeavor was telling the kids basically, I want you to be the first to defeat a villain before I do.
All
Like one
right.
time do that.
Right. That was their whole training essentially was he told
Yeah,
them focus kind of like focus your speed, your quirk on like getting quicker and focusing
yeah.
on the speed and then
And like your the awareness of the situation too.
right. Right, cuz he stopped he stopped the truck before everyone else did. No one even knew about it and I thought it was so funny like after Endeavor stopped the truck from hitting the lady's like chewing out the one guy going, "What are you doing?" And the guy just keeps bowing, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Yeah, it also shows like how great of a hero Endeavor is. It's like it's not like just that he's super strong. It's like he's always there to make a difference.
Mhm. And
And I
go ahead.
yeah, and I love the contrast between like Endeavor as a hero who undeniably is the world's greatest hero. We see that, but we also see all the harm he's done to his family. And the question is, well, does that make him a good guy or a bad guy when you put that all together?
Right. He's he's a person that's always compared himself to, All Might. He's always been
Right.
in the shadow of him and All Might is basically the superhero type where he's just perfect in every way. He speaks in he speaks perfectly. He says all the right things. He can do no wrong. While Endeavor's always been chasing him and always kind of was the shadow of him, so to speak. And I think that kind of made him bitter,
Yeah.
after a while. And then once he finally got that number one shot, so be it in the way that maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he wanted to achieve it like naturally versus All Might having to retire.
Yeah.
It definitely changed his whole outlook on what it meant to not only be a hero but be a person like altogether, and
Yeah, it's
that's
pushing
amazing.
him to be a better hero and a better person overall too. I feel like that's like the point of Endeavor is that in many ways Endeavor is the most human character because like we all have the good and bad in us. It just depends on how you look at the way we act.
Right, and I definitely think after he got the number one spot, after he defeated that Nomu, after it took half his face and it took everything in his power to defeat it, I think he definitely had a huge change of view whenever it comes to like being a hero and also being a person, kind of like we said. It's just
Yeah.
incredible.
And I think that also like helped his family to see his heroic side as well. and just like all the conflicting natures within him and within all the characters and their views of him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this second half is definitely like if there was like a main character for this, I definitely think Endeavor is like the main focus, and it's just real fascinating just to see his point of view because we only saw him as this mean, trying to chase All Might throughout the whole season series, and
Uh-huh.
now it's just really cool just to see that where it's just like, wow, he's
Mhm.
human. He makes mistakes just like we all do.
Yeah, it humanizes them, you're right. And I think that just makes this arc probably the most unique one we've had so far.
Very much so. That okay, going back to the villain. So ending this crazy psycho nutty villain captures his son Natsuo,
Right.
and Endeavor he hesitates.
Yeah.
He basically just stops. He was about to go full out, and then he sees his son, and then just stops dead in his tracks.
Yeah, and well, a lot of interesting things there, but this is also the one time where Bakugo, Deku, and Todoroki were the ones to defeat the villain,
Right.
not because they had surpassed Endeavor, but because there's a weak spot in Endeavor that they did not have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were able to react quicker to get there before he did, and they all saved the day, no casualties, which was cool. How I like how
Yeah,
they all worked together, and even Deku was able to. I don't know if he's fully mastered it, but he used his whips, his new quirk,
yeah, yeah.
and
Because didn't he like grab that truck, or am
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mixing up with something?
Oh no, he grabbed a whole bunch of vehicles because I guess they got shot up in the air or whatever, and he just grabbed them all and placed them down, and everybody was saved
Yeah,
after that. But but yeah, I loved it how you know once everything was taken care of and ending was kind of captured by Todoroki, he was frozen and whatnot.
hmm
Endeavor just goes up to his son and hugs. Well, he hugs both his son and Bakugo, and Bakugo's just kind of like, "Get off me! What are you doing?"
Sometimes I'd like to just go up to Bakugo, give him a hug, and then run away.
He seems like one of those. After you did, he would just kind of like try to kick your ass. The son's like, "Hey, get back here!"
Yeah, that's why I run away. Though he can probably outrun me.
With his quirk, he just does that freaking flash and catch up to you. You're like, "No!"
Just slam me into the ground.
Yeah. Why did you hug me? He's like, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to hug you really quick and run."
Because I
That
wanted to see your reaction.
and it worked. Please don't kill me.
Wait, maybe villain will do that to like distract Bakugo and get him away from everyone else.
Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Like you just it's like, all right, I'm gonna cause distraction. I'm the only one that's gonna hug Bakugo and run. Don't, you're gonna be killed. It's okay. I got this. And then you just look so cool as you walk away. It's like, there's Rising. God, he's so cool. But yeah, that was a wonderful, I guess, kind of like ending to that sort of story where Endeavor just lays it all out on the line with his son and says that that he was sorry for what he did and he doesn't expect forgiveness. He wants to be a family again. He wants to start over, and
Yeah,
he knows that okay, yeah, forgiving someone that takes time. I get it, but I want to show that I'm at least trying. So let's all be a family again and let's start over. And I
and
like
I
that.
like it. Yeah, I also like that they didn't all forgive him right here, but it's like because I feel that would be too unrealistic. But it's like the first step that they need to take.
Right. Right. I feel like, just like with anything, forgiveness may not be instantaneous, but it's definitely a long road. And maybe sometime down the road when someone wants to actually forgive, it's one of those, okay. We
Yeah.
forgive you, Endeavor.
hmm
Yeah. So cool. So neat. Uh, the next episode was probably one of the coolest episodes I've seen, which is 107, which is the one I guess before the newest one, which is where we finally get to see Izawa and I forget the other guy's name, like
Uh,
President Mike. he like
Present Mike
pres
is his name.
oh, I said president? Yeah, present
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them go to this like research facility, FBI
Well, I think
looking
goes to
thing,
jail too.
jail for these supervillains.
Mhm.
And we see that black cloud head guy Kogurogi and
Kuriguri
or
or
however I know it
it's
starts with
something like a Kirigiri, but I know that's not right because that's a Danganronpa character.
yeah,
Kurogiri?
fully coolly.
Sure, we'll call him that.
um, for some reason they believe that nomus are linked to people who are either dead or
Or it's like
they used to be
they were
people at some
people.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, they were people until they were transformed into a Nomu, which typically destroys their mind, but not completely. In Kurogiri's case, he doesn't even seem to have had any like real negative effects that are noticeable.
Right. And it's crazy because this whole episode is just so brilliant because, first we established that they were childhood friends with, I got his name here, Oboro, I think was his
Yeah,
name. He had green hair. He was kind of like I don't think they said how he died. Well, they said he died when they were like doing an assignment, which is really,
I don't know if it was
that's
an assignment.
rough. Class,
Well,
save a building.
yeah, but like he died when they're trying to be heroes, and he actually reminds me of, or the whole thing reminds me of Naruto with Obito.
Right. I don't think. Well, to be honest, I haven't really seen Naruto, so
Okay.
the people that are listening will understand the reference.
Yeah, basically, Obito was a character that some of the older characters knew in the past that they had supposedly died, but apparently not.
Huh. Okay.
And yeah, I
Yeah,
won't say more because spoilers.
that's fine. Hello, Donner TV. Welcome into the podcast. We're just doing a little recap time. Thank you for stopping by. Um, yeah, this was so freaking crazy. It just a whole lot of emotions. Izawa using his power, and he's talking to the Kuriguri, whatever the fuck his name is,
Yeah,
and just like going in. His head was all freaking out. Then you see Oriboro's head, and he muttered a word, and it was one word, and it was hospital.
yeah.
And
And
I'm
then we
just
got,
like, whoa.
and then we like squished the hospital with like a doctor looking suspicious, and yeah,
Yeah, but that episode just kept me on the edge of my seat just because I'm like, whoa, no moves. Okay, yeah, they're people, but they're people that used to. But now they're like, what's the connection with the freaking Nomus and also this Ouroboros guy and like is all for one? He has to have some part in it. I am so sure that
oh well,
he's
I
like
mean,
creating these things somehow.
isn't All for One the one who's like can move quirks around? So I think he did create the Nomus with his quirk to move other quirks.
Right. And like, but to be basically just kind of like erase the memory of another person and create a new hero altogether with new powers. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I also wonder if, like, the fact that they know that, like, Nomus were people and there's still some of the old person inside of them, if that would make the heroes more hesitant to fight and kill them.
Right. Right. That's
Because,
definite.
like,
Mm-hmm.
All Might and Endeavor had no qualms with killing the Nomu, but they would not normally kill villains.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that is a very interesting thought now that you think about it, because now that they know that these things are people
Yeah.
and that they might be conscious still.
Yeah,
That's
and, like, Kurogiri basically is acting like a normal person, except with, like, a slight obsession with protecting Shigaraki, but
right. Right, that's the only thing that his purpose in life is to protect.
yeah.
I protect. Oh man.
There's
But
like so many interesting things being set up for these episodes, like with the Nomu, with Hawks, with Endeavor, with all those things.
I know I'm finally. I'm finally glad that My Hero Academia is finally starting to pick up. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how you rate the seasons overall, but for me, some of my favorites are 3, and then 2, and then I think 4, and then 1, and then I think this one's last, just because of how. Well, again, that could change because I think there's 5 episodes left now.
can. Well, I feel like it'll be hard for the episode to make up for the first half being basically filler.
Right. And to me, they have to like pull something super spectacular out the next coming weeks, or else it's just gonna be like, okay, this whole season was just kind of meh.
Yeah, I mean, it could still be a good season because yes, the first half was filler, but it was enjoyable enough filler, so I'm okay with it. But it's like when you compare it to the other seasons where I like loved basically every single episode,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
you have half the season which is like okay, that just like automatically brings it down in comparison.
Yeah, it stinks, but I honestly think this is setting up for the next season where
Yeah.
it's probably going to be so incredibly epic. It's going to be
Mhm.
the most epic season of My Hero probably ever. That's
Yeah.
my
See,
that's my thought anyway.
I definitely hope so, but I sometimes feel like when you try to spend so much time setting up, and if it doesn't like quite land right, it just makes the whole thing feel weaker.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I definitely have enjoyed these past 6. Yeah, 6 episodes, and I'm looking forward to the next episode, which is the My Villains Academia, which
Yeah,
is a very interesting title.
I might be going to go watch that as soon as we hang up.
All right. That's cool. Then we can talk about that next week along with the new episode that'll come out next
Exactly.
weekend. So, it'll be a double next week for all of y'all tuning in right now.
Instead of six in one podcast.
Yeah, instead of 6 in 1 podcast, we're going to be talking 2 in 1.
Yeah,
And
much more reasonable.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm so interested in the season. I'm back on the My Hero Academia uh bandwagon. I'm back on just the whole the fandom, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just looking forward to see what happens next cuz I don't know how long this next arc's going to be with the villains. I don't know if it's going to like close out the season or not, but I have a very strong feeling that whatever happens towards the end is going to end on a cliffhanger, and I'm going
Oh
to
yeah.
be wanting more. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, definitely.
I'm going to be like, "No, no, we have to wait another year. Why?"
Well, at least we'll get Attack on Titan back soon, and that
We'll
will
get
be good.
Attack on Titan back. I know My Hero is going to have like a movie. Watch at the very end they're like, "Oh, by the way, you can see the brand new movie." They're just selling the movie.
Yeah, well,
Uh
I mean, most of the movies so far I think have all been like filler, so
yeah,
those don't really interest me much.
yeah, you don't. I mean, you could either take or leave them because they take place in between certain arcs, and
Yeah, like the first one was enjoyable enough, but like it did not give me motivation to want to enjoy or want to go watch the second one.
that's the one where they were on that island, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad, but I agree with you. I'm not like going out of my way to be like, yo, we have to watch this because it's oh my,
yeah.
no,
It's like, oh, that was a cool movie. Okay, moving
it's
on.
it's not like Demon Slayer where it's a continuation from the series and the whole uh I forget what it's called. The train
Yeah,
movie was really great. I don't know if you've
yeah,
seen it, but yeah, that's fantastic.
that's like the best part of Demon Slayer so far.
Mhm. And now
Granted, I'm also not a huge Demon Slayer fan, so it's not the highest praise I could give it, but
yeah, I a long time ago was very much against it. I was like, why do people even like this? Why do people give it so much praise? And then I got to episode I think 18 or 19 and I was like, okay, now I see why people like this. I'm a fan of Demon Slayer now. I'm like everyone else.
well, I dropped Demon Slayer twice.
Oh, come on. Let's make it a third time.
No, I was gonna
Pick it
either make
back
a
up.
video. No, my video was either gonna be like I dropped Demon Slayer 3 times or I came around to Demon Slayer. I
uh,
actually I did a review of it, like going through like all my issues and like what I liked and
mhm.
not my favorite anime, but it's enjoyable enough.
Yeah. I definitely like it's not perfect per se. I definitely feel like the blonde-haired kid is the most annoying character, not just in the show, but in all anime because he's just so whiny.
Yeah, I
He's
really like
so whiny.
I feel if he took Tanjiro away, I would dislike basically the entire cast.
Right. If Tanjiro was not the main character, there would be no like redeeming characters at all.
Yeah. I mean, some of the like the side characters are okay, but like as the main ones, Tanjiro's the only one I like.
Yeah, I like the pig head guy. I like
He's
is
pretty
it
annoying too.
You think so? I think he's at least tolerable. More
He's
tolerable
better
than
than Zenitsu.
he's definitely better than Zenitsu. Like he's more kind of like a one-dimensional where he's all about like I want to fight and be stronger. Yeah. But
Yeah.
but but I digress. We're talking about Demon Slayer now. But anyway,
Yes, thank you for checking out the Demon Slayer podcast.
maybe coming to you in the future
Hmm?
whenever season 2 comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then I'll get a ton of hate, but that's okay.
Yeah. At least I'll get a lot of views. That's the most popular anime in the world right now, I swear.
Exactly. Like, make a video saying Demon Slayer sucks, and you'll get lots of people to comment.
I mean, yeah, but you'll get nothing but the wrong kind of comments. You'll be like just the hate and all the clout. Oh, no.
I mean, that didn't stop me from bashing the Fate Heaven's Feel movie.
Well, Fate, NFC, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I never got into Fate. It just seems real slow and kind of
Okay.
boring.
Okay, so do you want a controversial Fate opinion?
Sure, why not? Let's have C hate us more.
Okay, Fate Khalid is the best Fate anime series.
Fake lead?
Fate Khalid, it's a magical girl spinoff
Wow.
with the lollies.
Wow. I think C would agree with you on that one. Oh man.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This has been a nice, basically kind of catching up. I know I've been gone a while. I've been working. I've been on vacation. I was
I've
kind
been
of bummed over the whole fact that the season was kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I've done 3 work trips in around a month, so I'm glad to be back home.
Yeah. So you should get a normal weekly podcast of My Hero Academia. And since it's finally getting good again, we're going to keep doing this until the very last episode. And yeah, we shall see you guys next week.
Yes, talk to you next week.
All right. Later, everybody.